I am here a day before summer solstice and I am going live on Instagram. I just got off of TikTok. I did an opening live just to say hi to TikTokers and be like, hi. I saw 104 of you at one point. So thanks everybody who joined me over there. And thank you everybody who is joining me live over here on Instagram. And as always, just as you are joining me here, I am going to be recording the podcast. I have a podcast called Rebecca the Ghost Guide Live. Would love to see you over there. And if you notice I'm not responding as much to the comments, it is because it's going on the podcast, right? So yes, thank you everybody for joining again. I would appreciate if you can give me a thumbs up if my signal, both audio and visuals, are coming in well. I would super appreciate that. Thank you to my mods. I'm seeing my mods show up. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you everybody for joining me over on Instagram. I super appreciate you being over here. Yes, special thank you to my Twilight Lanterns. We have special signature things that we do with each other now because we're cool. Yes, thank you. Also, thank you for the thumbs up in my live right now. So, for Summer Solstice Live, this is the first time that I've done the live here on Instagram. Ooh, thank you for that feedback. Okay, great. I'll speak a little bit louder then. But yeah, this is the first time that I've done the live on Instagram just because TikTok has not been very friendly to creators as of late, and that really makes me upset. So you following me over here on Instagram is super helpful. Same thing with YouTube. YouTube has always been very supportive of creators, and I'm very grateful to them for that. Hello, Twilight Lantern members. In fact, if you can see, Twilight Lantern members, this is the official Twilight Lantern necklace made by Lala Lotus Co. And I collabed with her to design it. Also, I've got my Twilight Lantern bracelet going on. That was one of the accomplishments from this past year. And for this live, what I do every year, because I've been doing this for 3 years now, if I'm doing the math correctly, is I'm going to share with you what I did, what I learned, what I released, and what I'm grateful for. And I definitely recommend all of you do this in your own way somewhere, because this is a great time for many cultures and many belief systems to really just think about like how we got here. We are halfway through the calendar year. Wow, how in the world did that happen? I'm so glad you're here with me because it has been a doozy, especially the earlier parts of 2025. It felt wild. Thank you for the compliment on my headwear. I did make the headwear. So if you want to check out the video, if you're watching in post, that is what's going on, and I'm very happy with that. But otherwise, everything else that I'm wearing is from Lala Lotus Co. So this is the mods bracelet that I commissioned from her, the Twilight Lantern bracelet. I also have a shadow work bracelet with different pieces to help you along with your shadow work while feeling grounded at the same time. And then over here, I've got the Lamped Light bracelet, which is new. And if you've been noticing a lot of reshares of the Turnip series, my spirit guide, my sassy spirit guide Turnip, that is to just tell everybody that this really awesome bracelet is out there if you want to see it. It's got little lanterns on there. It's got fire and a star and all that stuff. And then, of course, one of the tried and true Rupert protection bracelets. This, I believe, is sold out for the original Ghost Fam collection on that page, like with the collaboration that I'm doing with Lala. I think the Rupert bracelets are sold out. So those, I would say, if you're interested in any of the original collection items, there are some left, like the Molly's Night Owl choker and the earrings, Jim at the Adventuring keychain. All of that is still available, though it is only available for so long. I'm so glad that you are a Turnip fan. Yeah, she definitely had some mixed reviews when she first came out, and now I'm just like, well, that's that. she be what she be. So yeah, for this one, I'm also going to be doing some polls throughout on kind of like where we are with the energy, like how we got here, etc. And I'm also going to be giving some surprise little reads to those who are consenting, and we're going to let Spirit decide who the heck I pull. These little reads, as I move forward, if you're interested in getting one for yourself, up to 10 minutes. I also offer these quick read styles on my website. So if you don't want to be read in front of everybody right now, totally understandable. If you want to meet with me one-on-one, I have options for that. So yes, happy solstice. I will be putting this up on my podcast afterwards, and I might be putting it up on YouTube as well. And of course, it's here on Instagram. And we're actually a few days early from solstice. And the reason why I am joining you a few days early from solstice is I will be at an event with Theron Beyond the Veil this weekend in West Virginia. Here's the thing. I will not be speaking at the event. I'm actually just there to support Theron. I'm super excited about that. Also, thank you for the compliments about how I look. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Angela. Yes, happy solstice Eve. Happy solstice. Yes, yes, yes. So I will be away for solstice. I'll be in the Appalachian Mountains and I'll be in West Virginia. I forget what it's called, and I think Theron's doing a consult right now, otherwise they would tell me. But if you want to look on Theron Beyond the Veil's Instagram, there's a post from a little while back. It's a paranormal investigator thing. I'm a medium. I'm really just showing up. So, and I don't even have to read on this one. I don't really have to do anything. I'm just really there to support my partner because that's what a good partner does. So, safe travels. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yay, you've been excited all day for this live. Yeah, thank you for sharing that with me. I'm glad that, even though I'm not doing lives as regularly anymore, I wanted to do something for the solstice. So thanks everybody for joining, even though it's over 100 degrees out here. So if you start seeing me glisten more and more during the live, that is why. And I chose this for myself. It's cool. I like the heat. I actually would rather be in the heat than the cold any day of the week, because I definitely stayed in the van in under 30-degree temperatures more than a few times. And I was kept warm, but I'll tell you what, it's the waking up. It's the waking up and bracing the cold in order to change and go out, use the bathroom. That is always the hardest part. Anywho, Lake Shawnee Amusement Park. Thank you, Rebecca. That is where we will be this weekend. So if you want to go out and support Theron, hear them speak, admission is $25. So nothing crazy. And if you do see me in the wild, please don't be weird about it. That's all I'm going to ask. Please just, that's all I ask. Saying hi is fine. But if you have to ask, is that weird? Just check first, that's all I'm saying. Sun-kissed and happy, thanks, ma'am. Yeah, I've been working on the tan. I love it. Anywho, okay. I think, I've got some hydration stuff, so I'm good. But thank you for the reminder. Stay hydrated, yeah. I also have drinks in here if I need them. I just haven't reached for them yet because lo and behold, I'm still talking. That happens sometimes. Anyway, how about we do a pull? I've got my set. I'll actually show it to you. These are all my rocks on the go. I do something called lithomancy. I actually started doing this reading style before I knew that it was a thing. Lithomancy is basically, traditionally, it's when you throw rocks and objects and that sort of thing, and you read them. They give you some kind of interpretation to discover and figure out for the reading. I just like rocks, and I never super resonated with cards. Nothing wrong with cards, just not my thing. And that's how I started doing readings. And then I found out that there was a name. I think I started with 7 rocks, and now I have a variety of 100 various objects from all over the world at this point. So yeah, it is grown. But anywho, I will be making a poll just for perspective on how we got here. I'm going to do a past, and then I'm going to do a present for the solstice, things to keep in mind. And then towards the end, I'm going to do a what should we be looking at moving forward. And I do things like this for my Patreons at the beginning of the month. You can join any tier, including the free tier, and I give a monthly outlook to all of my Patreons so you kind of get an understanding of what we're doing for the month. But this time, we're doing stuff for the year-ish. Yes. So, let's see. I'm just going to ground a little bit because I'm excited, which is good, but want to be grounded for this. What is some perspective for the collective regarding how we got to this place this year? I'm having to dig. This one was in there good. Amethyst. Oh, that always says healing to me. How did we heal this year? Oof. You know, um, healing, it can be painful sometimes, right? We've had a number of celestial events this year that have given us perspective that it's one of those things where you figure it out and then it's not like it just like immediately heals. It's a moment of like, oh, and now I have to actually bandage it up and take care of it and make sure that it heals up the right way, right? So sometimes I feel like for a lot of us, we were like, oh, shoot, there's something obstructing a part of me, right? You know, it's like there's shrapnel sticking up out of my arm. How did I not see that before? Okay, well, let me pull that out. And then it's not just like it heals, right? Like you've got to take care of it. You got to take care of you. And that's good. We're in a place where a lot of people are just talking about like, hey, how do I care for me before I care for other people? Like, what does that look like for me? How do we work together in order to do that, to respect one another, to have those boundaries, etc. So, you know, that's good. Thank you for the confirmations in my chat. That part exactly let out a nervous laugh. Yeah, yeah. Anything else that this can tell us? I do feel like it's just the reminder. It's not a, oh, we have to keep, you know, pulling at scar tissue. We don't necessarily have to keep bandaging it up. So long as you are putting an emphasis on your healing, you don't have to keep repeating how you needed to be healed in the first place. So please keep that in mind. Oh, you were drawn to the amethyst for the when I was showing it. Nice, nice, nice. Psychic in the chat. Love that. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Anything else from this? No, it was very much like a feeling of like, we don't need to keep hitting this on the head. Note your healing. You know, take time to reflect in your healing. It is the solstice after all. This is the perfect time to reflect. If you want to do that when the sun rises on Saturday, I believe it is, or if you want to do it as the sun is setting on Saturday, all are good options. Just take a moment, be grateful, be present, be where you are. So, speaking of how we got here, segue. I'm going to be reading to you from Spirit Space. Spirit Space is a journal that I designed. This is what it looks like on the inside for anybody wanting to see. And it's based off of a little practice that I like to do at the end of the day where I don't overload myself because sometimes journaling was like really overloading, you know, like I got really like in my head about it and I was very much like, oh man, you know, I got to include everything. No, this is more like bullet points. So I asked myself the big questions such as what I achieved, what I learned, what I released, what I'm grateful for. And then I set an intention for the next day. So these journals, I have a bunch. I have them on manifestation. I have them on body space. I have a ghost field journal that can help you, you know, figure out how to read in the wild. I've got a lot of these, and you can find them hardback or paperback. You can find them paperback on Amazon. That link is in my bio, or you can get the e-copy through Patreon. You do not need to be a Patreon member in order to get the e-copy, including other things that you might want to look at. My courses, you don't necessarily have to subscribe every month if you want to buy specific courses. That is also up for grabs. But anyway, I've done this annually where I read out what in the world happened. And you see I've got 2 pages there in my itty bitty writing. So I want to share with you what I achieved. My goodness. And I'm curious because I'm going to be talking about the travels because all those are places I went to while I was traveling this year. So if you happen to be from one of those places, please shout it out. You know, let me know. Let me know if you're nearby or something like that. Some of you in the chat, I know are from some of these places. So to start out, Summer Solstice 2025 from December 22nd, 2024 to June 21st-ish, because here I am, right, of 2025. Cities I visited, 38. States I went to, 23. Parks and historical sites that I went to, 35. And people I met along the way, as I wrote down 29, plus some of them were locals, plus 19 people who came out for Sacred Spaces Getaway, plus plus my Twilight Lantern folks who I meet with through community-based events and through workshops. So thank you. Yeah, I have been moving since the last solstice. I've been back and forth on the continent a few times through plane and train and car. Not so much bike or on foot because I know my limitations. So, at least right now. Who knows for the future, right? Anywho, so travels started out at Crowder's Mountain State Park. That's where I met up with Krista, who is an amazing emotion coder, Life Atlas Healing. I sing her praises all the time. If you're looking for emotion code or body code, she's also been one of my moderators for years now. So it was great getting to hang out with you in person. Mora Mountain State Park, Town Creek Mound. Crystal Lynn came down from Richmond to visit. Spirits of Savannah, which I was leading as a medium with Theron. That was their event out there in Savannah. That was really cool. So also to all of you that I met in person out at Spirits of Savannah, thank you. Charleston, Carolina Beach State Park, Charlotte with one of my besties from childhood. Caitlin and Angela came to visit earlier in the year. Caitlin, who's also one of my moderators, and Angela, who heads up the Intuitive Entrepreneurship Club. If you are interested in hearing from their perspectives, they are on a podcast episode, so thanks for visiting, y'all. I wrote down rock painting with one of my friends, Rachel. We did that as a group. Santa Monica with Paige, another one of my moderators. Goodness, I've been trying to meet my moderators this year, or meet up with. I met all of you in person, which I'm so grateful to have been able to do over the years. Anyway, let's see. I met up with two of my friends who visited from Asheville, and then I wrote down Vinny Fincher. So that started out with Columbia, South Carolina. Athens with Marlene, who's a very skilled healer who I met at Sacred Spaces Gathering 2 years ago. Atlanta with one of my besties from childhood. Chocoloco Mounds, Alabama. Sloss Furnaces, Birmingham with Maggie, who's one of my Twilight Lantern members. Got to meet you in person twice this year. Rickwood Cavern State Park. Little Rock with Elena and Russ, two of my workshoppers, and also Twilight Lantern members. Yeah, you're gonna see me do that. Yeah, okay. Just get used to it. The Twilight Lantern, you know, because we figured that out on a social call. Okay. Yeah, Pinnacle Peak State Park, Petit Jean Mountain, Oklahoma with my cousin and family. The First Americans Museum, one of my favorite museums to date, and I love me some museums. I go to museums all across the country and all across the world. Amazing. Cowboy Heritage Museum, Washita Battlefield, Route 66, all up and down. Paladuro Canyon, Texas, the Big Blue Hole, which is a thing. Santa Fe, Albuquerque, Petrified Wood National Forest, or National Park. Homolovi State Park, which is First American Ruins, which is pretty cool. Grand Canyon and Sedona with Lala Lotus, who, you know, I sing her praises. I'm wearing some of her stuff, like this necklace and all the stuff that I'm wearing around my wrist and these earrings. Yeah, I got to meet up with Lala for the first time in person after 4 years of knowing her. I met her in a consultation. She sent me some jewelry as a special thank you, and then I got in touch with her, and I was just like, would you like to create a jewelry line with me? And that is what we have been doing. So, honor to meet me. Thank you. It was so great to see you twice. Yes, thank you, Lanterns, for doing the emoji. I appreciate you. So, yes. Let's see. Flagstaff, Kingman, Boulder City, Hawthorne, Tahoe, San Fran. I went to San Fran with Crystalline and Emily, which was super, super fun. And then after that, we went back to Tahoe. So special shout out to the Sacred Spaces Getaway people, 19 awesome people who met out in Tahoe, and we had an amazing time. It was so, so cool. I definitely want to do another getaway style event because it was small. We did workshops for days. We also went on a cruise out onto Lake Tahoe. It was super magical. And the coolest thing for me was I actually got time and ability to talk to everybody individually, which at Sacred Spaces Gathering, like I try to do, but I'm not always able to because it's a larger scale event and there's a lot more going on. So the getaway was super, super meaningful for me, and it allowed me to achieve my dream of going cross country in the van. So, P.S. Sacred Spaces Gathering is happening, and if you haven't caught up with that, if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, I hope you will soon. Also, for my Twilight Lantern folks, I will be doing special exclusive events, and that information is going to be on my Patreon. So if you're looking for smaller scale workshop that's near the Sacred Spaces gathering events, that's what I will be doing for my Patreons. So that information will be up on Patreon in a little bit. I'm securing locations before I, put out tickets and that kind of thing. But it'll basically be like, if you're going out to Sacred Spaces gathering already and you want to meet up with some cool Twilight Lanterns, that's what we're going to be doing. So next up, I rode a train. Oh my goodness, I got to ride a train for almost 3 days, and it was so exciting. I absolutely loved it. I saw beautiful scenery. I rode the train, the states that I was on the train, it was the California Zimfer, if I'm saying it correctly, and it goes from California, like I got on at Reno, and then goes to all the way to Chicago. And that was just an amazing experience. I highly recommend it. This country, we do not utilize trains the way that I think we should, because they are just built in some of the most beautiful places. Trains are the best way to travel. Yes. Oh, you're familiar with that train line. Yes, perfect. So on the train, I met a bunch of people. I also had a lot of time to like chill and just like knit and listen to audiobooks. And that went through Colorado, Illinois. This is obviously not in order. Iowa, Nebraska, Utah, Nevada, and ending in Chicago. And then in Chicago, I boarded a plane, went down to Wilmington, and after I had been away from Theron for a month, basically the two of us just like cried in each other's arms because, God, I miss them so much. So, yes, we do need to take a page out of Europe's book on train travel. Absolutely would agree with that. So that was the first leg of my trip. Then I came back to Wilmington for about 3 weeks, and then I flew back out to Reno. Emily was nice enough to pick me up, and I said, Vanathan Part 2. Oh, but before I came back out, okay, so I went to visit Jamestown, went to have a family gathering with my family, which was super, super great. I highly recommend, if you have family or like a group of friends and it's difficult to get together on the holidays, make holidays up. For example, the next, quote, family holiday that we are doing will be a casserole party. And that way you don't have to compete with any other holidays going on. You all just get together and just do the thing. So highly recommend that. I'm very grateful for my family and that we can get together and have such a great time. So anyway, did that. Also went to Williamsburg, met up with another Twilight Lantern member, Tom. I refer to him as one of our resident historians in Twilight Lantern, especially for Williamsburg. So that was really great. Met him in person for the first time, also at Sacred Spaces Gathering. Then got on a plane back to Reno, as I said. Emily picked me up. I went to Truckee, Napa with Katie. Okay, so Katie gave me a wonderful tour of Napa. It was super, super cool, including a wine tasting and just amazing. Katie was also one of my Twilight Lanterns, who also is a business owner called Social Light Creative, and I'd been working with her on different social media strategy sorts of things. And then I also got to meet her firsthand. Yeah, Katie's in the chat. Hi. It's so cool seeing y'all in the chat. I'm like, hi, I saw you in person. Yeah. So next up, I went to Sacramento. I went to the Sonoma Coast State Park, Armstrong Redwoods, Jack London State Historic Site, which was super cool for me. I was a big Jack London fan growing up, and I got to meet his ghost. That's kind of a spoiler, but I got to meet a piece of him, and I was just like, famous person from the early 1900s. Yeah, if you're a Jack London fan, let me know. Anyway, I went to the Donner Pass, Salt Lake City, where I met Nan. Went to Rockport State Park, Gothenburg, Nebraska, Laramie, Wyoming State Penitentiary State Historic Site, Cheyenne, Lincoln, Omaha Zoo, Kansas City, where I ran into hail and tornadoes. Wouldn't you know it, being in a vehicle that's closed off in the back in a parking garage is really safe. Well, I'm not going to say everything's safe in a tornado, but I felt really safe because I was not safe outside. Anyway, I actually had to park in some parking garages overnight a few times because weather, but I'm safe. And honestly, it was really quiet in there. And I always do like intuitive checks on the garages before I go there. Plus, I'm in an unmarked van. There's no markings saying that I'm in there, so I found it to be pretty safe. Anyway, let's see. Cahokia, Asheville with my stepsis, and then Jamestown again, Eno River, and then home. And then I've been celebrating Pride with my friends this month, so happy Pride, everybody. And yeah, also saw Caitlin, Maggie, and Paige B, who came to visit as well. So, oh my goodness, Paige B as well. I didn't mention also heads up Spiritual Study Hall with Caitlin, also a Twilight Lantern group. I keep saying Twilight Lantern. That's where I'm really active. So if you want to get to know me, if you want to hang out with people who also know me and like have this really cool community and like safe place, that's it. We do a lot of work to keep it safe. Shout out to the moderators and shout out to the on-call comrades for keeping it in as a safe place. We do a lot of manifestation to, ask the right folks, the best folks to just find us, and so far it's been working. So, yeah, wonderful trip. Oh yay! Yes, happy Pride to my fellow queers. You will see my Pride section grows inside of the van. This is the bells are from Asheville. This is from years ago. This bracelet was a gift from Maggie. This was from, it's like some emporium place. It was very gay. It was in Oklahoma City. And then this was a broom made by reenactors at an old penitentiary. How effing cool. And then like I knit this because that's what I do. Yeah, you all mean so much to me. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do that thing where, yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time for a read. So here's how this is gonna work. If you want a general reading, drop your name, just your first name, your actual name, or what you identify as in the chat, and I will intuitively close my eyes, do this weird thing with my finger, and then point at the one who's going to get the intuitive read, an intuitive solstice read from me to you. So, and while I'm waiting for that, I also meant to mention, I read 12 books. I read 12 audiobooks. And, yeah, I did all of that in 6 months. I can't remember the last time I read so many books in a year, or in half a year. So that was one thing being on the road allowed me to do. Lots of books, sometimes well before the sun rose, because that's when my body woke me up some days. It was like 4 a.m. regularly. Oh, and I went to the gym. I went to the gym more times this year than I have in the last 4. Yay, growth! Yay! I've also eaten more salads this year than in the last 4, probably. All right, I'm seeing the names. Thank you. So I'm going to close my eyes, go up and down a few times. Well, dang, Caitlin. Okay. Caitlin is one of the mods. I just saw you. Not a bad thing. I just find it funny because I just saw you and like, yeah, okay. So what does Caitlin need to know for the solstice? Ooh, seashell. Caitlin, you'll know this. This was made by Abigail, one of our mods. So, let's see. This is my wild card of the deck, so to speak. What does this have to say to you? How should this be? Okay. So it's got this little gold thing on the inside. It says, you've been offered a pearl. Take it. Okay. Can we get some more information on that? One of your guides, you know who it is, was just like, no. I was like, okay, so what can I pull from this? Okay. I mentioned like wild cards before. Wild cards only feel wild when you're unfamiliar with them, but keep in mind, this does have weight to it, and like, sometimes with shells, you have to like pick them up to really see what's on the inside. And this, what makes it really cool wild is, it was made. It's a painted glass bead inside of a shell. Make it. Just make it. Okay, is this about the thing that we all know is like the elephant in the room? because I mean, I told y'all, I know Caitlin as one of my moderators, so I do know a bit more about Caitlin than like I would the typical person. So that's why I'm asking this question. Um, ooh, Caitlin, this has to do with your mind. Okay, this has to do with like calming your mind. It check the what you're listening to in there. You want to be sure that you're not listening to your past self. You want to be listening to your future self right now. So, love the bluntness of guides because we know. Yeah, that's a mood. Okay. Yeah, cool. Anything else I need to say on that? No? Okay. Yeah. So, I'm curious for the other reads that I do if more information will present itself to me in regards to like when I don't know who I'm talking to specifically. But this is just one of those situations where Caitlin and I can share telepathic eyesight with each other right now and just nod about a few things. You know what I mean? Okay. So love that advice. So glad. Good advice. So glad. Okay. Next up, let's get into a solstice read for all of us. Like, what is some perspective collectively that we can look into? Oh, yes. Caitlin says, thank you, friend. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And thank you for chiming in on the good advice. Okay. So, this is for everybody, collective message for what can we as a collective better, I'm going to say meditate on and be present with regarding the solstice. The solstice. Ooh, okay. That is a moss agate. Always says to me grounding, but the thing is though, moss agate is a very light stone, so it doesn't always feel like it's grounded. So, this is a good time for you to check in with yourself. Like, just check in with you. This is not a time to be comparing yourself to other people. This is not a time to be like, whoa, that person has it all together, or does that person have any of it together, anything like that. Take a moment and just focus on you. Because if you're worried about everybody else, how the heck are you going to ground yourself? Sounds exhausting to me. I will pass, okay? I say that knowing full well of my conversations recently. So please know I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm above it all. No, absolutely. Like I fall into this energy myself. So please know I'm right here in the thick of it with the rest of y'all. So yeah, great opportunity to focus on you and understand grounding will not come from what is around you. Grounding has to come from within. So this is the work you do for yourself. Okay. Great time to journal. Great time to do this activity. If you want an e-copy of the journal, it's on my Patreon. If you want a paper copy, it's on Amazon. All that's in my bio. Or if you want to journal in your own way, or if you want to look at what I offer on the pages and be like, I like that idea and I'm just going to make it my own. Great. All are good. All are right. Okay. Anyway, anything else to know about the collective? Nope. Okay. So, getting into that present stuff, I want to share with y'all what I learned so far this year. So, 6-hour drive split up between 16 hours with fun things to do in between never feels long. Yeah, my sleeping schedule got kind of funky. Not necessarily in a bad way, but like I would wake up at 4:30 a.m., knock out a few hours of driving, go watch the sunrise somewhere, make my coffee in the van, or get it from the local gas station or wherever I was at the time, whatever. And then I would vibe. Sometimes I would nap, and then I would drive again. And then I would go walking somewhere, or I would wind up somewhere, and then I would drive again. And I gave myself some great books to listen to and some great music to listen to. And yeah, some people were like, oh, if you want to call me on the road. And I'm like, actually, when I'm driving, unless I'm talking to somebody in the car, I really don't do a lot of phone calls because I feel like I'm yelling at the phone and that's just like stressful for me. So really, I treat driving time as like me time. That's just how I do things. I am so an introvert. So if you were any of those people that were like, call me from the road, please know it was not you, it was me. Anywho, okay. Safety is a construct. Ooh, take that as you will, y'all. Safety is a construct. Maybe have a moment of silence to review that. All right. By the way, I'm not trying to fearmonger here. I'm not saying like, it's fake, safety is fake. No, safety is what you make of it. And it starts from within. Oof. Yeah, ow is right. Yeah, Okay. physical health is so connected to mental and spiritual health. Yep, I couldn't gym and salad my way out of my situation, and I'm not saying it's a bad one. I'm just saying it's different. I'm in my 30s. I'm working on it. I'm not ashamed. I just have new shadow work because this is what happens when we're alive. Am I right? So, yay. 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 Love the process. That's literally what's been coming through my stuff recently. It's very much just like, live in the moment because you're never going to be in this moment ever again, and you need to just actually be present. So, yeah, I can't salad and gym my way out of a few things. I need to actually process them, which is good. Anyway, okay, distance is a construct of time and choices. I'm going to say that again. Distance is a construct of time and choices. You know what I didn't say there? Money. Time and choices. Reflect on that. Okay? Love can be endless. Yeah. Love can be endless. Intuition literally kept me safe. There are a few stories on that. I won't share them right now. It is always okay to stop and recalibrate as long as the pause leads to the best motion forward. Now, that's a bit personal for me. Some of you may disagree. Totally fine. I'm not sitting here preaching to everybody, right? For me, it was really hard to stop and recalibrate. And when I say stop, I mean stop from the typical work schedule that I was keeping. And I actually came out of it with, I think, one of my best ideas yet, which I haven't started to share yet. But it do be coming. Next up, other things I learned. I will never lose out or miss what was meant for me. I have been coming to terms with my past self and struggling with thinking that my biggest, most successful days as a content creator were behind me. And I hate that. I hate it so much. And I kept thinking, oh, I should have written the book earlier. I should have had that out sooner. I was a person and I was working far more than I ever should have. And it did a toll on me. And I've been working to provide myself grace because, God, that was not fair to me then, and it's not fair to me now on the woulda, coulda, shouldas, whatever, okay? So I am a believer that so long as I am moving forward and living life, nothing's going to miss out for me. Nothing's going to miss me. I'm not going to lose anything. Nope. If it's supposed to be coming down, it's going to be coming down. That's it. That's it. Took a lot of weight off me. Oh my goodness. So use that as you will. If it is meant for you, you're not going to miss it. I was literally talking to somebody in a consult the other day. This person was concerned that they would miss their soulmate. And I was like, if that is the mate of your soul, you can't miss them. You can't. You will find them. Stop looking. Right? Whew. Anyway, okay. I'm laid it down. All right. Ungrounded decisions will lead to backtracking. Ooh, yeah, I had an experience where I did not feel grounded in a relatively large decision that I made, and it was like really, really foggy and really, really fuzzy. And then I had to backtrack 3 days. It was really tiring. I'm not going to get into all that. I-80, like Interstate 80, is so long. Yeah, I took I-40 on the way out, took I-80 on the way back because I was like, woo, I want to experience new things. And I was just like, oh my God, I want to be home. It was a good experience. I was just tired. Okay. When people can be reminded of their empathy, they're not so bad. Yep. When people, yeah. When people can be reminded of their empathy, they're not so bad. That's a huge thing that I found. Sometimes we have to be reminded of our empathy over our fear. But if we can be reminded that a lot of us just actually want good things for each other, unless you have like, you know, like a mental difference that says otherwise. Most of us are actually trying to be good people and we actually care. So yeah, if people can be reconnected with basic empathy, even the ones we hate, suddenly you're not so bad. Now, there's some people that are exceptions to this rule. That being said, because I'm not going to sit here and be like, everybody's good on the inside. Yeah, but that doesn't mean you have to like hurt other people, etc. Okay, I could go on. Okay. You learned that one? Great. Thank you for sharing. Um, we all want the same basic things. Fingers pointed by the rich. Uh, rich criminals. Rich criminal few means nothing to the rest of us. Okay, I'm gonna read that again because my handwriting. We all want we all want the same basic things. Fingers pointed by the rich criminal few means nothing to the rest of us. I talk to a lot of different people on the road, a lot of different states, a lot of different incomes, a lot of different ages. And you know what everybody agreed on? We all want the same basic things. We want to feel safe. We want to have family. We want to have friends. We want to have a roof over our heads. We want to be able to eat, not go hungry, not lose a bunch of money. You know, like we want basic things. For most people in this country, we want basic things, right? We want to feel not stressed all the time. We don't want to feel depressed all the time. We want to feel like we can eat well enough and it's okay. We want to feel like we're making educated decisions on things. And it's just a few people that say that we should be blaming other things. But in reality, there is enough money for everybody. We don't need to be pointing fingers at people in our tax bracket. Honestly, if you're probably watching this, you're probably not the problem. So we can all share. The people at the top need to learn how to share. That's it. They need to reconnect with their empathy or be taken out of power. But why digress? Okay. Anyway, fear is the only divider. Fear is the only divider. That is a huge lesson that I've learned. Okay. Let's see. I think it's time for another read. So if you want a reading, just put the name you associate yourself as, you identify as, in the chat, and I will do another thing where I do close my eyes and do a swipe up and down, and then I will land on the name that I need to read. And this is just a general message for the solstice. General solstice message. Also, I'll go ahead and read while we're waiting on this. One of the affirmations that I wrote: my hardest days are behind me. My hardest days are behind me. Ooh. I like want to cry and also have shivers at the same time saying that. In a good way. In a good way. Remember, Lantern members, you can use your special not so secret. I'm doing a wink, but I don't wink very well. Winks. Yes. Okay. Yes. Perfect. So yeah, my hardest days are behind me. For sure. All right. Let's do this. I'm seeing the names. Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to close my eyes. Scrolling up. You know, it would be cool if I actually keep the app open. So if your live just paused, it's because I scrolled too close to the sun on that one. So let's see. Scrolling up. Liz B. All right. So, Liz B. What does Liz B need to know for the solstice? What's a good solstice read? This one? Okay. Liz B. Okay, so this is a selenite rosebud. Yes. Liz B, I believe we met in Tahoe, right? Sacred Spaces Getaway? If I'm remembering correctly? Yeah, anyway. It doesn't matter because it's been a few months and who knows what's happening. Anyway, so your read for the solstice. What do we need to know here? Whenever I get this, I always think of, yes, we met there. Okay. I always think of like, how do we move forward, right? Oh, the words that came to mind, your scars are beautiful. Your scars are like, think of the parts that move out on the stone, right? They help you move forward. And it's not in a way to say like, oh, here are my scars, everybody. It's, you know what your scars are. You know where you come from. Utilize them as a way to move forward. You don't need to just like sit with them. You can also honor them. Selenite is a wonderful stone for honoring where you are and enhancing your own psychic development. So be sure when you're looking at your scars and the decisions that you've made from the past, etc., be sure you can be like, you know what, I did the best that I could with what I had at the time. Yeah, so I would say some potential journaling in your future as well. um Anything else on how to move forward? No, just to sort of like, yeah, okay, all right, cool, cool, cool. Next up, am I gonna do? I'll read to you what I released, and then I'll do a read for moving forward. You love that? Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yeah. Okay. So what I released, I did not come back with a dog. I thought I would come back with a dog. I did temporarily take a dog out. It didn't work out, but that was a good time. But I thought I was going to adopt a dog. So anyway, and that was where the lesson came from. Of I will not lose out on anything that was meant for me, because we always freak out about like where like did I get the dog that I was meant to have? Yeah, the dog is coming. I know, Summer. Yes. Yeah. Where are the lanterns? I see your comment. Yes. That was a attempt at that. Anyway, what did I release? I traded time in the known for time in the unknown. Fear. I released a fear of sleeping wherever, and I also released the fear that other people had. I didn't let people be like, "Are you sure that's unsafe?" Da, 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 da. There are a few people who I really, really let affect me, because otherwise everybody's gonna have an opinion and they don't know what's going on. Okay, so yeah, I released other people's fears, like in regards to like what they would have been uncomfortable with for their life. I can't. My can'ts are not their can'ts, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people do things that I can't do, right? So anyway, okay. I released a lot of gas money in exchange for views, as in like scenic views. I released regular sleep. That's a pro and con, but I'm getting back to that. I did release potential theater opportunities. I consider it a trade. So I traded that for what I got. Not upset about it. I released the responsibility for others' parasocial feelings. Yeah, that rears its head every few years, months, quarters. I don't remember time. Yeah, some people believe they are closer to me than they are, especially if I never met them, or they're like, oh, we have this past life together. That means that we must be this in this life. No, not necessarily. Or we knew each other in the underworld. That means that we know each other now. Or, oh, my guides told me that you are the one. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm good. Thanks. I'm in a happy relationship. I'm good. Yep. Okay, anyway, okay, what I released, social requirements or needing others to travel. Yeah, on my way back from the west, back out east, I didn't really tell a lot of people where I was going or when. I did get some recommendations along the way, but I really wanted to go at my own pace and at my own time and get to know myself even better. And I'll tell you what, I got lonely. I got really lonely. For an introvert, I do have the FOMO, and it was good for me to experience that. So, not fun at the time, but I knew it was part of the journey. So, yeah, that is incorrect. Just because you know someone in a past life does not mean we are meant to be in this one. Yeah. Let things happen organically. If we're meant to be friends, if we're meant to know each other, we will be. That's the beauty of life. We get to live it. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway, what I released, the need to do this again. Yeah. I don't foresee me going all the way west in the near future again and back. I had a great time. There's certainly places I want to visit again, and I can't tell you how many places I like called up there and I was just like, I want you to visit this place with me. So we're just gonna have to fly out again because driving takes too long. So, yeah, I don't foresee me doing a cross-country trip anytime soon. I'm really glad that I did it. I'm glad I got it out of my system. And it was sometime after Salt Lake City that I remember I was talking to Theron on the phone and I was like, I am ready to come home. and I rushed it the rest of the way back. I came back like almost a week early because I had my Forrest Gump moment where I'd been running for 2 years, so to speak, and then I was like, I think I'm gonna go home. That was it. I got what I needed out of it. Now I'm like, woo, next chapter. I still will have the van. I'm still going to be doing short stints, and I'm excited to treat this as an office. And if you've had consultations with me, you've seen me in the van. But yeah, other than that, I'm like, I'm good. I did it. I did it, and I came back, and I want to ride the train again. And there are many things I want to do again, but probably not that in the near future. Always that part of the trip where you hit that wall. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the feeling of wanting to be home and around people you care for is a wonderful thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's not like I always need to be removed from something in order to appreciate it. That was not the point of the trip, though I certainly got more appreciation. Like when I came back to Wilmington, I just cried. When I came back through the Appalachian Mountains, I was crying. I remember I I had gotten I was in Tennessee, right? And I had like this terrible sleep the day before. I had this terrible migraine the night before, and I was about to get into North Carolina, and it was really early in the morning. The sun was just coming up, and I remember I pinged Rupert. I was like, Rupert, will you sit in the passenger seat while I go through the North Carolina border? And he was like, okay. So he's there, and like Flix was behind, and we crossed into North Carolina, and I was just like, North Carolina, and then I was just like, the Appalachian Mountains, I really miss the Appalachian Mountains, and I was like crying, and Rupert's like, please stop crying. Sorry, I spit on that one. He was just like, please, because you are driving a vehicle, and we are going through mountains, and it's a gorgeous drive, and I was just like, I'm in North Carolina again, and I really miss it so much, and I miss the Appalachian Mountains, and I miss the heat, and I miss the humidity, and all this stuff, and Rupert's being so great. He's just like, yes, correct, we are home, yes, good, and all the while he was just like, please continue to either drive the vehicle or pull over because you're having a moment. And I was just like, oh yeah, thanks for being here. So I got some questions earlier where people are like, is Rupert still around? I'm like, yep, those are the moments we have nowadays. A lot less dramatic. And I'm happy about it. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I read what we released. I think it's time for another poll for one of you. So if you want to be in this poll for perspective on your summer solstice, put the name you identify as in the chat. Remember, Twilight Lantern members, you are welcome to add special sparklies. But I will close my eyes and scroll up and down and let my fingers fall on something. And while I'm waiting for you to comment, I'll read another one of the affirmations that I wrote down because I wrote down two. One of them is, done. Let's do the next thing. By the way, I talked about what the next thing was on my previous podcast episode, and it's really, really exciting. Not going to get into it right now, but if you like skits, and you like stories, and you like story times, and you like interviews on those stories and ghosts, you're going to really love the content that is coming out, and I'm very, very excited about it. So, that being said, all right, I'm seeing names coming through. Thank you. I'm going to scroll up, scroll down. Okay, Brittany. All right, Brittany. So, hello, Brittany. Yes, and then I'm doing a double for this one. Brittany and Echo. Okay, because my eyes were like there, so I'm doing two apparently. Okay, thanks, Spirit. Okay, so Brittany number one, it was Brittie. What does Brittany need to know for the solstice? This one? Okay. All right, Brittany, you get Garnet. What does Garnet mean for Brittany? Oh, this is big on grounding. This is like, find your roots, Brittany. This is very much like, I'm seeing like, go outside, get to a tree, connect with the tree's roots, understand how those roots work. I also see like, it might be useful for you as an exercise to draw out what a tree looks like to you, and then use the trunk as like you, like that is who you are. Use the branches and the roots for how you became who you are. get as detailed with it as possible. Also get artsy with it, like get creative with it. I think that's going to reveal to you a lot of what really grounds you. And then also if you want to draw kind of like out on the sides, what is your wind? What is your rain? Do you like this rain? Do you like these clouds? Et cetera, et cetera. I think that will be very useful for you. So you've got some creative stuff to do. Make it pretty, make it fun. It's just for you. Anything else to know for Brittany? Oh dear. The words came through. You will not want to do it. Life will try to make you not want to do creative things and thoughtful things for yourself. Your challenge right now is to do it anyway. Do it anyway. Do it tired. Do it stressed. Do it at the wrong time. Whatever that means for you. Just do it. Give yourself time and space. It doesn't have to be a long process. Don't talk yourself out of it. To start is to start. Give yourself that time and space. It's solstice. Go. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Okay. Oh yeah, I just mentioned for Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to those who are celebrating today. I've been reading a bunch of history on Juneteenth as I do every year, and I am so moved by the efforts of BIPOC people in this country, and especially for Juneteenth, the emancipation, the final emancipation of people in Texas, well after the war had ended. So I feel for you and I support you, and I am certainly here as an ally in order to help as we move forward in the progress, the good progress, so help us, of this country. Yay! Anyway, Brittany, sorry for the wraparound. Well, I'm not sorry for celebrating Juneteenth, but I was just like, I realized I was like, I'm still holding Brittany's stone. Anyway, anything else on Brittany? No. Okay, so do the thing. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly, at the wrong time, in the wrong place, whatever. Just be safe about it. Okay, so help us. Correct. Thank you for the love from Argentina. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it. You're welcome for the read. Next up was Echo. Switching gears, so thank you. What does Echo need to know for the solstice? Aha! Fluorite. Yes, okay, Echo. So this is a worry stone, and I kind of saw this as like a. You want to be sure that people aren't using you as a worry stone. You're well enough on your own, you know, like you're doing the work for you. Healing, I think it's a reminder to everybody that healing first comes from within, and for this, it feels like people also have to decide to be healed, and we can't force that on them. And the worst thing, oh my God, the worst thing about this, because I run into this too, where people are like, oh my God, of course I don't want to live like this anymore, but then they don't do anything to speak that with their actions. So just, this is just a reminder. It doesn't feel like something that's happening hardcore like right now, but it does feel like something that's coming, like probably within the next month to month and a half, where people will be kind of running around in circles for a little bit, and they're going to be like, I want to live better, I want to do this, I want to be healed. They also need to prove to themselves that they want to be healed, and improving to themselves, that'll also show it to you too. So you've done the work to provide for yourself. You don't necessarily have to be that for everybody, especially if they are not ready to actually do it for themselves. Also, I believe I said this was fluorite. This is totally amethyst. I have another fluorite piece in here. This is amethyst. The message is the same. Take that as you will. So that was to Echo. Let's do segue. Moving forward, what can we expect for roughly the next half of a year? Dear God. You're welcome. Yeah, okay. So no, we're gonna do the next quarter. Because already it's like, oh dear. Okay, so what can we as a collective expect for the next quarter? That was so everywhere. Specification, please. Thank you. Lapis lazuli, not bad. What you say matters, and you have to decide to speak up. This doesn't necessarily mean verbal to me. This actually goes into a little bit of the previous reading. Your actions are going to speak louder every single time. Every single time. To you, to your guides, to the universe, to the people around you, to the whole situation that we are in. Speak with your actions. Yeah, I'm seeing this is going to mean a lot for a lot of different people. Sometimes inaction is also action. And that can work. That can work both ways. So do keep that in mind. Yep. Okay. Anything else on that one? No, I'm getting a no. Okay. Can I get into... I'll do the last quarter last after I get for the... I'm going to tell y'all what I'm grateful for. That was a little bit cryptic, but also at the same time it's not when you think about it. Yeah, I don't think I need to hit y'all on the head on what's going on right now for the world, for these United States. Yep, read my face. That one resonated with me. I'm so glad. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Cool. What I am grateful for. All the support. All the support. I put family and Theron and friends and fans, all of y'all out there, Twilight Lantern, my workshoppers, my spirit team. Special, like, big thanks to Rupert and Flix and Hermes, who I got to connect with a lot on the strip. And that was really, really good. Flix showed up. He was with me 24/7 unless Rupert was around. Wow, Flix. If you don't know who Flix is, I'll be re-releasing, I believe, some content on him soon. No. Anyway, there's a skin about him. He's a large Hecatean hellhound, and he's amazing. And he's been training, and he's doing so good, and I'm so proud of him, and he's just really great. So, yes. Thank you for saying that. Grateful for you. Thank you. Yeah, so let's see. Other things I'm grateful for. Seeing possibility and going for it. I made a dream a reality. I made a few dreams realities, actually. And that was really effing cool. One of which I didn't even mention because I wrote it off to the side. My professionally produced show. I've got 2 episodes, and we're going to be pitching those to producers who have more money than me. And I got to see the first drafts yesterday. We already filmed it, and it's going to be something called To the Extent of, like, Everybody's Psychic, and it will walk people through how to be psychic in real time, and then work with paranormal investigation equipment. Theron's in it, and work with a local historian to see, how things line up. And it was super magical. And that'll probably be out in the fall-ish. It's not a rushed thing. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm working with a local production company called Wallaby Productions. They work with Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and some other big names out here in Wilmington. And oh my goodness, it's stunning. Everything looking at it is stunning. And I'm so excited to share that with y'all. So that'll be coming out later. But yeah, I'm grateful for that. That was a dream come true. Actually spending my savings on my dreams rather than endlessly saving or giving my money to everybody else or everything else. Yeah, I actually invested in me this year, which is really cool. It wasn't about everybody else. It was just about me. And I remember when I told my therapist this, I was like, am I really selfish? And my therapist was like, oh my God, you never do anything like this for yourself, just for you. And I was like, yay. Yay. So that was really cool. And even so, I found out that I did not spend nearly as much money as I thought I would. Because I lived light, and I lived realistically, and I reconnected a lot with the earth and what I really needed. And van life does not have to be expensive at all. I have a lot of tips on that. Somebody actually booked a quick chat with me just to talk about, like, van life and schooly life and, like, info on that. And let me tell you, that was so exciting for me. So if that's of interest to you and you just want to chat van life, I have quick chats available. It doesn't necessarily have to be spiritual, even though living your dream, living your truth is spiritual. Anyway, I digress. Uh, let's see. I'm grateful for safety. I'm grateful for a vanathin day to my van, all the road trips, all the road tips, and the quote failures. I'm grateful for the failures because I learned from every single one of them. Failures don't feel so bad when you get used to them because we are here living the game of life in order to quote fail so that we learn. And I put that in quotations because the more you realize that you're human and you're meant to make mistakes, you're meant to do things that are quote wrong, the easier it gets because you get to be like, oh shoot, well that didn't work out. Let me try again. Let me try something different. Yeah? It doesn't have to be filled with shame and grief and I suck. No, it can just be like, man, I misjudged that so effing hard. I used to be embarrassed all the time, and then I was just like, oh, embarrassment's like a part of life, and I don't have to hate myself about it. You know. Anyway, um, everyone who adventured with me, I'm grateful for y'all. Everybody who met up with me, everybody who gave tips. Once again, shout out to my Twilight Lantern community. Y'all gave me a bunch of wonderful tips on where to travel, and then I ended up meeting up with a lot of you, which was like really effing cool. I love slow friendships that grow into something just truly beautiful over time. I think those are some of the most just I cherish those kinds of connections. So yeah, I also wrote down Sacred Spaces Getaway and Sacred Spaces Gathering. Yeah. Um, by the way, I'm gonna gush about Sacred Spaces real quick, but if y'all want to start putting your names in the chat for another solstice reading, you can go ahead and do that. So for Sacred Spaces Getaway, I know probably at some point I would have driven out west and done van lifing and come back. Sacred Spaces Getaway gave me the opportunity to do that sooner rather than later. And I remember making the decision. I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I know that's what I am supposed to do. And it was the coolest effing thing. So thanks everybody who joined us for that. Thank you to Crystalline and Emily. And thank you to Angela for helping us organize that. And Meg and Danny for your work as well. Everybody who came, we just had a wonderful time. I really enjoyed meeting all of you. And moving forward, Sacred Spaces Gathering. We are gathering in, I totally blanked on the dates, but we are gathering, and you can find out more at sacredspacesgathering.com. It's going to be smaller. It's going to be a little bit different from the times in the past just because of the climate. You might have seen my eyes get really big then. But a lot of factors led to that, and we are navigating it as best we can and doing whatever we can to offer a safe and grounded and spiritually responsible and ethical environment for everybody who shows up. I also believe triple leads I think we still have some spots open. Angela, who's also working with us again, is helping us out with that, and yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's either August or September. August 15th and 16th. Thank you so much, Maggie. I think Caitlin, you had me there too, so thank you. Yeah, so if you want to join us, and by the way, because we're changing things up, the ticket price is lower than it has been in the past. It's a little bit shorter, but remember, if you're one of my Patreons, I will be hosting Patreon exclusive events on Friday and on Sunday. So if you want to get more for what you're doing and actually hang out in a smaller group setting with me and also Theron at one point, we will be teaching something together. It's very exciting. You can do that. But Sacred Spaces Gathering, that's open for tickets. The exclusive events are not yet open because I am securing locations for those, but those are coming. Anyway, thank you for the segue. Let's get into who the heck am I reading for the solstice. So I'm going to scroll up a little bit back to where we got the names. Okay. Who gets a solstice read from me? Oh, it's funny. Key cries and no salute emoji. We're gonna have to figure that out for you, okay? But I see your sparkles. It was so funny. I kept getting like, keep going. And I was like, how far am I going? There you are, Key. Okay. So a solstice message for Key. What can we tell Key? This one? This is the actual fluorite. Wow, that's really funny. What do you need to know, Key? That is so weirdly specific. Okay. It says for your channeling, you need to be reaching up higher and over a little bit. This feels like deity stuff. This also feels like getting over some imposter syndrome that a deity would want to work with you. Um, and the feeling is so interesting. Up and over. It feels like it's someone that makes sense, but somebody you wouldn't expect. And I'm not getting information on who specifically it is. I think this is a message from your guides of basically like, yo, you just got to trust yourself. You got to do it. That was so weird. Here I am being like so weirdly specific. Like I don't do psychic readings all the time. But anyway, yeah. Anything else on that? Ooh, the message of you got to get over it. If a deity's reaching out to you, get over it. Like get over the whole like, but me, am I? You know, da 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 da. Like no. Like if a deity's reaching out to you, you're worthy. Period. That's it. Yeah, you're like settle the imposter syndrome stuff elsewhere. Like deities, a lot of them are really cool, and if they're reaching out to you, it's for a good reason. Remember too, like this is all in your time. I'm getting a nudge from your guides of like just do it, like now's your time. But remember, if it gives you any solace to think like, oh, okay, if things get too crazy, I can always take a moment and take a sigh or a breath or like a whatever. So remember, you're still in your own control. But yeah, don't get in your own way. Don't get in your own way. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So there you go, Keep. Last quarter that we can look forward to. This is the big finale for what we are looking at. Oh my. Okay, cool. I was just making sure I was looking at my things. You don't work with deities? Oh my god. Surprise! Solstice is going to be interesting for you. Specifically, I feel there are going to be some knocks on your door next week. So, yeah. Enjoy. Keep your eyes open. Make it fun. Okay. So, what's the grand finale of the readings that we need to know for moving forward? The solstice is for the fourth quarter. Nope. For some reason, I'm not allowed to read that yet, at least on this forum. That's okay. What else? What's the grand finale? What's the big thing that I need to know for everybody? Oh shoot, I forgot what this is called. If y'all know what this is called, it's you like make it with radio frequency waves or something. Yeah. Dang it. This is one of my newer ones. Got it at the Smithsonian. Actually, Theron pointed it out. Theron was like, don't you need this? And I was like, are you doing that thing where you know stuff? You're psychic and stuff. Pyrite? No, it's bismuth, if I'm saying that correctly. Yes. Thank you, everybody who knows rocks. Thank you, my rock friends in the chat. Bismuth, yeah, that is what it is. Thank you. I love it. I love this community. Yes. Cool. Thank you. So, what does it say for us? What is the grand finale that we are looking at right now? Okay, the words that came to my mind was nothing makes sense until you realize everything makes sense. Because you see like this, and if you're looking at it randomly, it's just like, oh, there's no rhyme or reason. There's no order with this rock. No, there is. Like, one thing that's interesting, I actually researched chaos theory. People think that chaos means like absolute mayhem and there's never any like order to it, but they found that over time there is actually an order to things. They used one of those machines where it had like a bunch of pegs and they would drop balls and they would hit the bunch of pegs and then like go down into slots. And at the very beginning, you drop a few balls and it just seems like, oh, this is entirely random. There's no order to this. And then they dropped a bunch of balls and then they sped it up so you could see it like time lapse. And you realized that even though there were outliers, there was a primary way that the balls went, but you wouldn't know it unless you looked at it from a different perspective. So here's your sign from the universe. There is a plan, even if it's just, how you plan and how you move forward. It just won't feel like that sometimes. Yeah, things are going to get wonky. We got some timeline merges that are about to happen. We got a lot of things going on. I'm not going to sit here and be like, trust the process. I'm going to say, trust that you are where you are for a reason and that matters. So hang tight with us because we need you here too. Everybody's doing something right now. Yeah. Time isn't real, correct. Sacred geometry, also correct. Yes, 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 yes. I would say when things get really bonkers and you feel like kind of wild, now think of this. Think of the bismuth, what it can teach us, all that good stuff. There is an order, there is something going on. It's just sometimes we don't really see it until we're looking at it from a different perspective. And that's some parts of chaos theory, because that's the stuff that shows up in my FYP. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I believe that is everything for this particular live. I thank you all for joining. Thank you all for joining. 3 years in a row that I've been doing lives on the solstices, and thank you all for being here. Thank you for following. If you want to catch up on anything that I've been doing this year, please check out my podcast, Rebecca the Ghost Guide Live. It's on Spotify. And you don't need a Spotify account in order to listen to it. And of course, if you never want to lose track of me, please sign up for my Patreon. That helps to support me, but also helps to support you. You can join it for free, and you can get outlooks for free. And that's just something I provide to you for the energetic exchange of wanting to be in the what is the equivalent of my email list. So if you never want to lose track of me, you want to see what's going on, I've got some big exciting things going on. Of course, Patreons get pre-releases. And the most important thing, I think the biggest thing, is you get courses to support your own psychic journey, and you get community depending on which tier you're on. And community is really everything right now. So thank you to my Twilight Lantern members. I'll do a lot that for you. And thank you to my moderators who make this a safe place. Thank you for my on-call comrades who assist the moderators in creating that safe space. So yeah, happy solstice, everybody. Thank you. I'm reading your comments, Laura. Yay. Yes. Oh, I'm so glad you had a lovely time. Yay. Thank you. I'm just like reading through. This is like, the podcast is basically ended. I'm just like, yay, thanks. Whee. All right, good night, everybody. I'm going to go to a less hot, humid place. Yay. Happy solstice.